Yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy, beautiful blue-eyed fucking entrepreneur. Cause I'm out here making big business. I'm out here making big dollars, dinero, munyon, hundred bunnets. I'm out here. I'm him. I'm that guy. Who, Joe? Nah, it's fucking Aku. I'm here. AKA, y'all might have known me as young burnt baby back ribs. We ain't burnt no more. Summertime's over. We in the fall festivities. I'm out here crystalline like caramel. My shit light, peanut butter complexion. You already know what we're doing out here. All right, now, hold on now. I know it's been fucking, I don't even know, what, a month, 2 months almost since an upload. I'm sorry. All right, I can't express these last like 2 months and counting of my life have been the worst and most stressful days of my life. It's just like outright, like it's crazy. Like I got no excuse. Like I got free time. I played fucking League of Legends. I played Valorant. I played Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Tekken. I've been doing bullshit. I could have made a video. I'm sorry, but we're here now. We're here now, and I got another one in the works. But I was like, you know what? Let me postpone this and make this video because I always got to keep up and shit. You know how it is. I didn't make one for the last what was it? Flash Gala? What's today? Yeah, Flash Gala. But we're here for the Legend Festival. And I'm here to talk to y'all. I'm here to talk to y'all. So, a little bit of an update. I'm fucking tired, bro. I'm tired. I'm in my last semester of school. I'm working 3 jobs. It's just rough. But I'm not gonna make any promises. Just I will keep making videos. It might be a week. It might be a day. Fuck it. I might double upload today. Like who knows? Videos will keep dropping. Have faith. Young burnt baby back ribs. You scrape off the char. It's gonna taste the same. We gonna get there at some point. Just rock with me. All right. With that being said, I know y'all see this Bahama high level Filato in the background. This shit's coming to a conclusion. You know what else is coming to a conclusion? The wind element, bro. Y'all niggas is cooked, bro. Y'all are cooked. All right. You wind players out there. I don't know if y'all are on like Granblue Twitter, dog. I, I've never seen such an emotional breakdown of character in my life. By the way, I thought it was bad with dark players. I thought it was bad with earth players. Nah, bro. Wind players, bro. Y'all are down catastrophic. By the way. Oh my, Kuhaku, Dengaku, all these wind players. I don't think I've seen Misako. Uh, fucking bro, dude, it's crazy. That shit was funny though. I like seeing other elements suffer. That's not my own element. All right. So with that being said, my element suffering too. What is this shit, bro? We gonna get into her, but like, I'm a little salty, but it is what it is. Uh, October 3rd, this banner's over. I think this shit started the 30th? Yeah, the 30th. So I'm a little late. We here though. We here. Um TLDR for those who fucking are like, I don't want to listen to this guy. Yeah, what the fuck is this guy? Banner sucks, bro. I don't give a fuck. Banner sucks. I mean, if you're a win main, get your Vane. His weapons a one of, and get your character. Move on with your life. Other than that, bro, don't roll, bro. Don't roll. It is what it is. There's not even any other rate up. You just got fucking Grand Vane, which isn't even unlimited. You can just get them whenever, like next Legend Festival. Florence again, not limited. Subtixer or some shit. I don't know. Do what you gotta do. This banner's ass. I don't even know the rates. I'm gonna assume it's 0.5. I'm gonna assume, but let me. It's 0.3. Go ahead and skip. This is crazy. Honestly, when does Guild Wars start? November. You might be able to wait. That shit's in November. I would honestly wait till next Legend Festival and just spark Vane there. If you're trying to get him for Guild War, I would just spark him there because at least other potentially useful stuff is gonna be, on the banner. Um, there's also Halloween coming up, so keep that in mind. But yeah, that's my verdict. Don't pull unless you're a win main. Then get your Vane. Getting into the character here, we'll start with Vane because he's at the top. Wind character, defense style, human, spear axe, which is nice. Oh, maybe not for wind. I'm trying to think of like wind characters. Let me go ahead and pull up the other wind characters with axe and spear specialty. I don't think there's many. I know there's Grimnir, and Grimnir's getting his revamp or rebalance soon. You have Vanilla as well, V Grim. Interesting. I'm also missing some one character, so I'm probably let me pull up on the side. GBF, let me pull up on the side. I don't think it's really that important, but yeah, you probably want to stick to spear for wind, I'd imagine. Yeah, probably want to stick to spear, which is cool. I mean, more versatility and diversity. Let's see, start with this Ogi. You know, I like to go from top down, connect the dots. You know how this goes. Massive wind damage to a foe. Bonus damage. Bonus wind damage effect to Vane. Let me go ahead and pull up on the side here to see what these numbers are looking like. Alright, so you get 50% bonus wind damage effect for 3.5 turns, which is actually a lot. That's fucking Excalibur, essentially. So that's actually quite nice. Again, it forces you to Ogi, but I mean, for 50% bonus damage and you get a nuke, not too shabby, not too shabby. While Indomitable Conviction is in effect, changes unworldly damage. Alright, so that takes your modifier from 450% to 1250%. Pretty good. Brave Destruction. Wind damage to all foes, hit to defense, substitute effect to caster, receive all ally attacks. While Indomitable Conviction is in effect, skill changes to Mighty Destruction. So, you get a defense down, and it's just regular defense down, so it's going to be useless for, let's say like Fa 0 and like Fa and Hexa. Will still be useful for sub HL though, because I believe Mist and other base defense type skills work on that boss, so it's good for that. 3-turn all ally sub. I believe this functions the same as S Alex. Let me go look at her just to verify, because I don't want to give false information. You know how we do it over here. We keep our shits facts, fam. Keep it 100. Receive all attacks in place of allies. Receives foe attack in place of an ally. Includes all ally. Interesting. So I don't know how that works. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's all sub, all ally. I'm pretty sure it's just all sub, but we'll see. I don't have them, so I can't test them. Changes to Mighty Destruction, 2-hit wind damage to all foes, hit to attack and defense. It's still base attack and defense. Damage mitigation and substitute effect to caster, receives all ally effects. So, let's see. I don't know, what are his damage mitigation numbers? Let's see. If I can scroll over here. 2,000. It's not too bad. And yes, it actually is all ally sub. So it functions the same as Summer Alex, I believe. I'm gonna pull her up on the wiki just to make sure. Because again, we keep our shit fox, fam. Receives all attacks in place of allies, includes all foe, all ally attack. Receives all attacks in place of allies, includes all ally attacks. So it's a little different, but it's still pretty good. You basically just take all damage for 3 turns. You get Undying Effect 1 time. Cool. That seems like a... I'm trying to think of where you would utilize that skill, because I have seen instances in Siegfried, and I believe... What was the other raid? It's Siegfried and Yig, where they do like the skill cooldown stuff, where it messes with your skill cooldowns. It's gonna be kind of hard to get his skill up to use his skill 3 from what I know, because it goes on cooldown. Even this skill, I believe might be able to use it, or it goes on cooldown. I forgot if it is only buffing skills. I guess it's just kind of raid dependent, but you have to keep that in mind. If you're using him for full auto, he is gonna sub all your damage and stuff, which from what I know, you want him to do that. So it looks like a decent skill. You might be able to abuse it in like high level raids to just, eat a lot of damage and take more offensive options to do more DPS and DPT in high level raids, such as like Fa 0, Hexa, that type of thing. I think it does allow for you to possibly skip some triggers. I'm just gonna use sub HL for example. You can probably skip a lot of like sub 50 stuff if you're not doing solo content. So that could be cool. You could also use it to cross 10% for an exec setup or just, for a potential full auto. Um, so that's interesting. Wild Beat. When damage to a foe, remove one buff. Caster deals triple attack. Additional effect when Indomitable Conviction is in effect. Restore HP. What is his TA number? What's guaranteed TA? Oh, it does say deal triple attacks. Okay, yeah, guaranteed TA. And you remove a buff. So, I mean, that's decent skill. You get TA, remove a buff, do damage. Cool. And you heal, which is going to be nice for when you're tanking all the attacks and stuff from the foe. With the skill 1, it should be nice to keep him sustained. Indomitable Conviction. Fully restore caster's HP, remove all debuffs. Indomitable Conviction effect. Can only be used when conviction level is 3, can't recast. You get attack, defense, damage cap, debuff resistance, and dispel cancel. So this is interesting. So it functions like Water Vane skill 3 where you essentially get a buff and you full heal when you're red. You can only use it when you have conviction level 3, so you at least have to have that. It looks like you don't need to be red HP at all. You can just kind of make sure his conviction level is 3. I'm not sure how you get conviction, but we'll get there. Um, and this is how you get that Indomitable Conviction effect to get the additional effects of these. So we'll see how that comes to be. I will note that the skills are red and yellow, so if you are using him in Faz 0, you don't have to worry about yellow apple and red apple RNG. Nobody really cares about blue and green apple, so that's kind of negligible, but something to note for if you want to use him there. When Vane is a main ally at battle start, consume 30% of max HP, Undying effect 3 times, shield effect to all other wind allies 10,000. Okay, so Grimnir, you get a free Grimnir summon passively nowadays. That's crazy. Uh, and it's all other wind allies, so he's consuming 30% of his own HP. He doesn't shield himself, he shields the other allies. He gets Undying 3 times, and he can withstand lethal damage. Or upon withstanding lethal damage, rather, you raise the conviction level by 1. So essentially, you want to get him low as possible to 1 HP, or, a lethal hit. And you want to proc that 3 times, so you utilize these 3 Undying effects. You lose the Undying effects, you click your skill 3, he gains all these buffs, which honestly, I don't look too great. I mean, it's just damage cap and buffs. You do get the skill changes here, and the alt version of this, you do get damage mitigation, attack down, as well as a defense down, Undying effect 1 time. So, in the event where you are subbing and using the skill, you do get Undying 1 time. So you're not, kind of wasting these, you're just utilizing them to get this buff, which is interesting. You also gain these effects in order based on conviction level, which is countering upon taking damage 2 hits, activate Wild Beat at end of turn, and boost the healing specs. So, essentially, you get a dispel every turn at the end of the turn, and you basically just deal TA, which I have to check. Is it 1.5? It's 1 turn. Actually, I'll be end of turn. Since it's end of turn, you should get the TA buff, so you should TA every turn. It does kind of suck. This is like the Magus issue, where Magus's dispel was also end of turn. So it's kind of counterintuitive for like Faz 0, for example, where if you get the dispel 2 times trigger, you can't really clear that using this passive alone because it's gonna proc after he uses his special attack, which at that point is kind of, redundant. But it's what it is. You get boosted healing specs, so you are healing a lot from this skill too, I would imagine. The base heal cap is 2,500, so you're gonna heal a lot. I don't know what the numbers of the heal cap are. It is 20% boosted healing specs, so that is essentially making 3,000. I believe 3,000 is the heal cap. So you're gonna be healing a lot. The counter damage is also gonna be nice as well for when you're getting hit, and he's gonna be getting hit a lot because based on his second skill, he's more likely to be targeted. He has a high max HP, which also seems counterintuitive because if you want to get him to lethal, it's gonna be harder because he has high max HP. He does consume 30% of his own HP at battle start, but I mean, let's say that you have your standard Wind HL grid, you get 100,000 HP. That's pretty easy to hit nowadays, assuming you have like a fully fleshed out grid, plus marks, defense awakening, etc., etc. High max HP. Do we have the exact number? 20% boost to max HP. So let's just assume you're getting 120,000 HP. 30% of that is what? Like, I can't do fucking math. Let me pull up my calculator. Times 0.3. 36. You're losing 36,000 health. So you're left with roughly, what is that, 84,000 HP? If I did my math right. That's still a lot of HP to burn through. You're kind of almost forced to run like Show Fist or like any type of bloodshed to make it easier to get him low. Because he provides the 10,000 HP shield to other allies, running additional bloodshed in grid doesn't seem all that lethal. So I mean that's an option, but again, if you're running this in high level, do you really want to run bloodshed in your grid? Like you're essentially running. Let's just take Shellfish for example. You're just getting an attack mod for you know in exchange for losing. I don't know how much bloodshed, like 20%, I believe. So 20% of your HP. Don't know if that's worth it just to get this guy to proc his buffs, which again are, in my opinion, these are mediocre buffs. Attack, defense. I mean, maybe the numbers are ridiculously high, but it just seems like you have to go through a lot of like hoops to pull this off. He also gets amplified damage based on how low his HP is. When Indomitable Conviction is in effect, max amplified damage regardless of HP. So, okay, so I was gonna say this seems kind of counterintuitive again because he's gonna be healing a lot from his auto-activating skill 2, which means that he's gonna be relatively higher HP, especially if you're blue potting to keep your other units alive in high level raids. I'm using high level raids as an example because he just doesn't seem like the type of unit where you'd use in short form content due to the fact that you need these conviction levels, which is going to take you at least 3 turns to get. Then you have to click his buff, and then let's say that you're holding these skills to use for post buff. You're not utilizing his skill 1 and skill 2, which essentially makes it more difficult because you have to all sub to kind of get him low in these fights and stuff. So you're gonna have to click the skill, and then it's gonna be on cooldown. His cooldowns don't reset based on getting these buffs. So you're gonna be taking a lot of turns just to utilize some of this kit. And again, if you're not in a high level raid, you're probably not taking a lot of damage. For example, if you're in Bennu and you're full autoing Bennu with Vane, Bennu's not doing damage to you like that. I mean, maybe if you're not canceling his omens, but even then, I feel like Vane's the type of character where you're not taking him to Bennu because you're not in need of sustenance and all subbing and all this type of stuff. I think Bennu is one of those raids where you kind of just you burst him down within like 5 to 10 turns. Unless you're a newer player, then sure, Vane will be really useful to you in pretty much any given scenario, in my opinion, because he's very tanky, does a lot of damage, keeps your team alive, provides a shield. If you're a mid like new to mid level player, 10,000 damage is a lot, because HP is harder to come by early on. So I think he's one of those characters where he gets a lot of value earlier in the game, and then as you progress throughout towards end game, he kind of loses some value. He seems like he might be useful in some higher level content. I haven't personally used him. I haven't seen him used in any higher level content. I've only seen him used in Siegfried and Yggdrasil, and I've seen his weapon used, and that's pretty much it. So, with that being said, I guess you could take that as it is, right? I think he's less useful the more characters you require, the more meta characters you require rather for the wind element. Um, I think he's more so of an option for endgame if you're missing like certain core components for wind characters. I guess a good example of that. Let me see. I can probably pull it up. Um, Whenever I'm running Fa high level, for example, I use. I guess it's easier to pull up a party. Maybe I don't know if I still have it. Yeah, I just use this. I use Cow, Charlotta, Siete, Cats. I don't have Kaguya, otherwise I'd use Kaguya and I'd play a different setup. But I am aware that Kaguya has kind of fallen off recently for at least like Win meta. There's like a Rising Force setup that uses Cats, Cow, and either Wind Meeting or Wind Eustace, and I think you can also pull it off with 157 if you don't have either of those units, which I don't think I have either of those wind units. But that's something to keep in mind if if you're missing some of these units and you can't do some of these very character specific setups, then, maybe you can use Vane and, come up with your own composition. Maybe someone else, on Twitter, which is generally where you'd go to see different types of setups and stuff. There's Vane setups there, so you can search it up. But all in all, I think the character itself is pretty underwhelming. I don't really know where you'd use him, like where he's best in slot. He just seems like an option, which I mean, most Grand Blue characters that have been released recently just kind of have been options. I think Medusa is an example of that, where outside of Guild War Nightmare 250, where I think she was utilized in some of the fastest full auto setups outside of Andromeda, I believe, that's the only spot where she wasn't an option. She might have been best in slot from what I can recall. But even then, like most characters nowadays are just an option. Um, so with that being said, I'll move on to the weapon. Now the weapon I've seen a lot of controversy about. I mean, everybody's been calling it, like a fucking makeshift Fetty staff, which is a worse Fetty staff. I think this is where a lot of the controversy has been, is with the weapon. I haven't seen too much talk about the character because, again, the character, in my opinion, and from what I have also garnered through the community, is he's just underwhelming. But the weapon, in my opinion, I've been seeing a lot of Doomer posts about it. I think the weapon is actually good. You remove a buff on Ogi, you do bonus wind damage, so you get an additional hit. You have medium HP and medium stamina, which is, well, I think this is a new mod. I've never seen this mod before. I could be wrong, but I think this is a new mod. So, that's pretty good. And then when you main hand it, upon using your first slot skill, you provide damage mitigation to wind allies and Veil one time, which is pretty decent for sustain because it's giving you HP, it's giving you damage mitigation. You're removing a buff, so the utility is really nice. And then the damage kicks in with the third skill. When a wind ally removes a foe's buff, you do 3-hit wind damage to all foes. You hit wind damage stackable, and you restore one ally's HP. I will note, though, that unlike Fenny Staff, this procs based off of removing a foe's buff, which you actually have to remove the foe's buff. You can't just use a Dispel skill or trigger or something and, proc this effect. You have to actually remove a buff, which is, in my opinion, is what makes this weapon mediocre and it loses a lot of potential. Um, I did see a really cracked setup in Bennu using this weapon because obviously Bennu, I believe it's his 4 charge attack omen. When you don't clear it, he self buffs himself with like attack, bonus damage, triple attack, and defense, I believe. Um, so that's 4 buffs you can dispel there. It actually does do a lot of damage. I think I've seen it hit up to like 9 million per or like 9 million damage total. So I guess 3 mil per hit. So it actually does do a lot of damage. If you spread that, across 4 buffs, that's 36 million damage. It's a lot of damage. Um, but I think, in my opinion, it's more so used towards defensive capabilities, just because you get the medium HP mod, defense mitigation, and Veil, which is useful, remove 1 buff. So I think that's more so what it would be utilized for. If you, I think it'll be used in Guild War as well, because obviously Guild War boss buffs itself like crazy. Assuming they're going to give us a boss that will buff itself like crazy, which usually is the norm, then yeah, this weapon's going to go crazy. But I think that's pretty much limited to like Nightmare 250 for the most part. I've also seen an EX Plus setup where when the EX Plus boss goes past 50% and it procs its trigger, it gives itself an attack buff. So when you're using, say, Galleon or Esteroila or Shion, for example, and they have like their auto dispel at the end of the turn from their nukes, it'll also proc this skill and then it'll give you, I think, like 5 to 7 million damage, I believe. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Um, I think it has a lot of potential. I think if you're a one player, you definitely want to get this weapon 100%. Like just 1 copy. I think more than 1 copy is pretty much useless because you don't get the MC only and the main weapon basically. So you only want 1 is what I'm trying to say. So that's Vane and its weapon. Florence, I'll do this in reverse order, I guess. I'll do the weapon just to see. Okay, it's big HP and small heal cap. That's kind of very mid. It's like a glorified Diablo bow, except Diablo bow has an attack mod, so it's more useful. Um, it's not. It doesn't have a 4-star on cap yet, so maybe the healing cap will be increased to medium, or maybe they'll attach like an attack mod or something, or like some unique skill. We don't know yet, but for now it looks really mid. Or not even mid. It's just bad. I wouldn't run that in my grid personally. Um, when you Ogi, you do get one Oblivion Crest, which you can possibly utilize that for, like as a budget Zosimos. It is a harp though, and there's infinitely better harps than main hand. You have fucking Unhail, Grand Fairy's weapon. You have Sunya, which I haven't main hand that in a minute. You have Agostia harp as well, and you have the World harp as well. So you have lots of harps to main hand this start. Probably missing an obvious one. Oh yeah, Uli, if you have Uli, if you're a dark main. You know, I think I got my Uli in stash, actually. I don't fucking use this shit at all, so, I can't advise you to get it, but... Do I have it in here? Yeah, I haven't... it's not even equipped in a grid. Like, I don't know what to tell you, so... But other than that, Dark does have Unhail, Sunya, the World Harp, Agostia, Harps and stuff. Oh yeah, and you also have Onigiri as well, which I think is pretty decent, so you do have options. So yeah, I wouldn't be caught dead running that in my grid personally. But look at the character. I have actually gone through this character because again, I'm a dart player. I saw a fucking dart character. I gotta pull. I gotta bust out the credit card. I gotta go into more insurmountable amount of credit card debt. Let me know. Like, let me know, Side Games. But obviously, they didn't want me to get evicted this month, so I don't have her. But with that being said, her Ogi, massive dark damage to a foe, hit to accuracy, Oblivion Crest to Florence, not to party. Interesting. Um, that's something to note because let's say you're pairing Florence with a Kate won't get a Oblivion Crest, and so that kind of slows down Crest generation. I think as well. Let me pull it up. I'm not mistaken. I think Kate's Crest proc skill is only when main character gives her a crest. I'm gonna pull that up just to make sure. Um, Let me see. Activates when one or more are granted by. Okay, yeah, by MC. Okay, so yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Um, Kind of lame. I wish it was like any character, but you could probably do some gnarly stuff with like Nyarla whatever, the crest summon for Dark, as well as other crest bearers for Dark that could give her a crest to proc that skill. Be kind of nutty. But this seems really underwhelming. I guess the hit to accuracy is a debuff if you need like an extra debuff in like let's just say Fa 0 for example. But Dark's party is pretty fixed there with Fediel, Oro, and Ray. It's pretty fixed. Um, I'm not pronouncing that shit. Fuck that. 2-hit dark damage to a foe, hit the debuff resistance and attack stackable, while Stellato is in effect, hit number doubles. Okay, so you get 2 debuffs and a lot of damage. Well, 2-hit damage, but doubles to 4, so eventually it'll be a lot. Boost to Dark Allies skill spec stackable, armor effect, restore HP. I'm also going to pull her up on the wiki so I can see some of these numbers. No. Okay, so it's 10% skill damage up and 6% skill damage cap up, stacking up to 50% and 30% respectively, meaning you need to cast the skill 5 times to get the full effect, and it applies to all allies, and the HP restore is 1500 HP, so standard, 10% of Dark Allies health, 20% damage reduction through the armored, lasts for 3 turns, so that's what, 3 to 8 uptime, which is very low uptime, but it's what it is. There's probably going to be a way to recast this skill, I believe, because, I mean, casting this 5 times, 8 turns, 40 turns, she's got to have something to reset this skill or, cast it multiple times. But other than that, I think the skill is underwhelming. I mean, even if you just take a look at Hecate, Hecate also gives, I think she gives skill, yeah, skill damage supplement to Dark Allies stackable. So, and that's supplement, did not cap. So arguably that's better, in my opinion. I guess it's situational, but the higher defense and stuff, it's better just to get supplemental damage up. think that's it based on yeah, so that's it. So yeah, between her and Hecate's buff, I think it's situational, but I think Hecate's buff is overall better. Um, I only see this being utilized in a situation where you're running her with Magus, possibly, because Magus does a lot of skill damage as well. Fediel also does a lot of skill damage, but I don't know if you'd exactly want to pair her with Fediel for anything specific off the top of my head. Um, and Fediel isn't really like you're not really doing like skill damage like that. Also, give me 1 second. Fuck, bro, I don't want to edit that out. Oh my god, I don't know, bro. Okay, if you see that long pause, I didn't edit it out. I'm probably gonna have to edit it out, but dude, I hate work. That work call is crazy. Anyway, I lost my train of thought, but I think I was saying something along the lines of you don't really care about buffing other dark allies skill cap and stuff. You really only care about buffing main characters skill damage and skill cap with Mana Diver as well as Zosimos and any other. I guess that's primarily what it is Mana Diver and Zosimos for dark. Um, I mean, if you're running other stuff, there's really no need. I mean, possibly like Yamato or something, but there's no skill damage focus in that comp. So this is essentially an MC buffer, which MC gets buffed infinitely more by Ray because you're just doing double the skill damage because you're attacking twice. So you would never run her over Ray. You're never replacing Oro or Fediel because Fediel buffs are just too good, and Oro buffs are also just too good. Like Dispel Cancel, you get an extra nuke, you get an extra debuff from autoing, all that. Like it's too good. So there's just no room. Even if you're doing something like a full auto or something, and you're trying to not use Ray because you have to manual her skill 1, and you ran Florence in that slot, I still think there's infinitely better units to run. Hecate being one of them. Um, Trying to think of some other ones. Magus is better. Cetala is better. Ilsa, Seox. Like there's so many better. Lich. There's so many better characters. Vicola. Like I could keep going. You could get Nier in there. You get the point. So I don't really see where you're using her unless you're using her for fun. But again, Granblue's been doing that a lot, where a lot of characters are just options, or they're underwhelming, or stuff like that. Or maybe you're a Florence fan and you really want to use Florence, then be my guest. But I don't really see any application of use for this character based off of what I've seen so far. You get a Veil, Dispel Cancel to all allies 1 time, Oblivion Crest to allies, and Stiletto Effect to caster, which supplements skill damage. Dark attack is boosted and consumes 1 Oblivion Crest to activate this after attacking. Oh, that's actually pretty interesting, but it's only a 50% uptime, which is interesting. Probably gonna go to 9 turn cooldown, so it'll be 5 of 9. At the end of the turn in which another Dark Ally grants an Oblivion Crest to Florence activates. Okay, so yeah, so basically if you're running Zosimos, you're gonna be funneling into this skill, which is giving you more stackable effects and more sustain as well. 1 turn cut to this. Okay, so you can almost have this 100% uptime with Zosimos if you're spamming your skills and oging a lot with a 2+ chain. That's interesting. And if this is up, that means you're spamming this, which means you're essentially getting skill damage after attacking. So based on the numbers, possibly, maybe it might be more worth to run her over Ray. She doesn't get any bonus damage or anything like that, so you are missing out on like hit number, for example, in like Flaw 0 if you have to do 99 hit. You're missing out on that if you're running her over Ray to buff your MC. But it actually, skill damage wise, it might be comparable to running Ray and buffing MC with Ray 1 if you're spamming this skill at the end of every turn. So that's something to consider for sure. Other than that, I mean, bruh, you're not using this character. If you have dark characters, you're not, literally anyone's better, so it's an easy skip. Boost a dark allies defense based on the number of Oblivion Crests. I'd like to see the numbers on this. Did it have numbers? 50%? God damn! You get 10% per crest up to 50%. That's actually a lot of defense. That's actually kind of huge. I would argue that that's better than running Forte backline. For the skill damage cap up, yeah, you get 10% skill damage cap up at 5 Oblivion Crest. I would argue that 50% defense is way more useful for sure because at that point you can take more turns and you can mash out more turns, which is more damage per turn. So you're doing more damage overall. You're taking more turns. You're like able to take more turns. That's crazy. So for that reason alone, I would say she's good. Just for because it takes effect as a sub ally. So I would say she's good for that reason. But that's the only useful thing I can see in her kit. Every other dark character, if you're actively trying to play dark and contribute as dark, you're gonna have certain characters. Like you're gonna, I mean, unless you want to suffer and like just really just want to play dark bare minimum. Like you're gonna have to have Fediel, Oro, Ilsa. I'd argue you need Ray nowadays as well. I think Vikala is also not really super required, but she's nice. Um, Seox for sure. Like you're gonna need these characters. I think Nier is also one where you like kind of need this character. Lich as well, even though she's kind of fallen off and taking a backseat. I still think you need her for sure. And you're gonna want PNS anyway, so you're gonna have Lich. So teach their own. But you're gonna have at least some of these characters. If you roll in this game, you're gonna have some of these characters. You would run any of these characters over Florence for sure. Florence is a backline 50% defense up buffer for crest setups, and that's pretty much that. So with that being said, this banner's ass. Don't pull, bro. I think I saw someone summon Monkey, but Monkey fell off too. So again, it's just not. It's not worth it in my opinion. It's an easy skip. Save your crystals. We have Halloween banner in 2 weeks. I know my crystals are cooked. That Kaguya fan rate up cooked me. I didn't even get the bitch. It is what it is. Um, yeah, that's pretty much that. That's the banner. Um, I guess to conclude, you already know my thoughts in terms of future content. I always in my videos like this. I'm not gonna say when I'm dropping the video. I'm not gonna pigeonhole myself like that. I am working on that water video I was talking about for Fall Zero and numerous setups you could run and how to pilot it. I'm also gonna be doing that for Sub HL and Hexa as well. So I will make them into 3 separate videos, and then I will likely do the same for Dark because I am a Dark main. I like to pride myself on making like Dark content and stuff. So I'll be doing the same for Dark. Someone requested it for Water, and I'm also hyper invested in Water as well. So I will just be doing it first for that reason. But if you guys have any other video requests other than just upload, because some motherfucker commented, just make a video, bro, dude. Like it ain't that easy, bro. It ain't that easy. But yeah, if you have any specific ideas, let me know in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter at Akukoria. Hit me up on Discord, Akukoria. Instagram, Akukoria. You can message me there personally. Leave a comment on the video. Like, subscribe. Share. Post this shit on Reddit. Give me upvotes. Post this shit on Twitter. Like, get the boys some fucking attention. Like I need viewer base. We're gonna be in this together. Me and the rest of the Akuks, we're here. We're a formation of people, and I do this for the people. I'm a yapper for the people. So with that being said, that's gonna be the end of the video. Timestamps will be in the description. I probably should have said that at the start of the video. And yeah, peace out.